Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we're returning to Order of Battle World War II, the strategy game based around, well, World War II. We are doing the Burma Road campaign and we're in the third scenario, I believe. That is the fall of Singapore. Historically, one of the very large blows to British morale as the Empire of Japan conquered Singapore relatively easily, comparatively at least. Much more easily, certainly, than the British had thought. They'd thought it would be extremely likely that they would have 6 to 12 months warning, depending on when you think about it, that this would fall, and they just didn't. So yeah, it didn't hold out that long. So let's start the scenario over here and see what it has in store for us. Certainly I don't think it's going to be very positive for the British here, with the scenario being called the fall of Singapore already. Does give us a couple of hints here that we can or can ignore. Well, can follow or can ignore. That being said, I think what we did see last time in the Force Z scenario was that we had a lot of fighters around. So Japanese heavy guns had lit up the night sky, laying down a massive barrage along the entire length of the Strait of Johor. Soon after, Japanese landing craft crossed the strait, which separates Singapore from the main Malayan Peninsula. The Australian 8th Division will defend the northwest sector of the Strait of Johor. The area consists mostly of swamp and jungle, broken up by rivers and creeks. Yeah, I do see that. It also contains RF Tenghal, Singapore's largest airfield. Our main objective is to make sure that the Japanese do not cross Paya Lebar. Well, not sure whether that is going to work. Japanese infiltration units are a particular concern. Moving far in advance of their primary force, the fortified defenses of Singapore itself were not constructed to prevent civilian panic. It is therefore imperative that the Japanese do not advance anywhere near the city's center. Alright, let's start the game over here. Our primary objective is to not lose this area over here. Okay. And our secondary objective is to regain control of Nea Son. Okay, I'm thinking that is going to be extremely difficult. Who are you? Okay, let's let's close this. Right, so we've got a couple of units that we can distribute in old Panzer General Manier, and we've got a couple of Australian units that are already distributed along this river. This river does look like a very good defensive position, but I'm not too sure. These guys up here look a little bit more exposed. We can see some of the Japanese heavy artillery over there. We've got a position over here close to this bridge, and certainly a lot of Japanese units up here, including what I think is an engineering tank, so that's not going to be nice. Also got an airfield over here, which is immediately going to be overrun. So we'll need to push forces up here into these sort of mostly wooded, not really, I mean this is relatively open terrain, interrupted by a couple of forests, but I think this is going to be one of the main advances. The other one is going to be over here, so into the jungle over there, but that's probably gonna be it. I don't think we probably want to keep open the lines of communication here. There's some rice fields, but they are not gonna be that important, I think. And there is this river over here. Curiously, by the way, that it doesn't say that there is a river. Interesting. Okay, let's use our forces then. And I think we can start with the Air Force because it's a little bit easier to maneuver around and have them distributed. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to presume that they're of course going to come down here and over there. We've got a couple of fighters over here. We've got an airfield over here. We've got a Hurricane. I suppose what we can do is we can start you in the air over here, right? You're starting in the air? Yeah, you are. So let's bring a Hurricane and... do you know what? Let's bring you... let's be a little bit more reactive over here. And of course what I'm always going to do is I'm always gonna buy the upgrades here. Because we definitely want to use the best forces that we... or just reinforce our units. So that's 2 units there. Let's send the Bristol Bullfighter over here as well. Likewise, do upgrade that. And then we've got 2 Spitfires, one of which I'm going to place here. And the other one also over here. I'm thinking maybe we could place one over here. Okay, let's bring you over here. Place you there. So that's all the air forces. Yeah, we've placed all of you, haven't we? Yeah. Good. Let's consider the... Okay, these are already deployed. These are the reserves. Okay, fine, yeah. That does make sense. Good, so we've got our trusted tanks, and I'm thinking they probably do want to come up here. This is relatively open terrain. I do want to support the Australians as well, but I think this will have somewhat priority. So let's set you up over here. Of course, gonna repair you as well. Got our howitzers, which I'm not sure are that great. They were a little bit worse than expected. We've got a couple of Gurkhas that are relatively good at open terrain type of units. And I'm thinking that we might send you over here because there is a lot of jungle over there. We can also think about moving you up here this way, sort of into coming out that way. Might not be the worst idea. Let's send you over here first, and then we have a little bit more flexibility later on. Right, a bit of infantry. Suppose that's not too bad over here. Bit of engineering power that we send over here. British heavy infantry, which we're also going to put here. And then more engineers. I think they can be, let's say over there. The anti-air units, I suppose. We do have a little bit of AA over here. We don't really have that much over here. I don't think we'll need it, but I am gonna probably put it over here as well because I'm expecting more tanks to flow down this way. Yeah, I mean that we do know that there are a couple of them already here, so since the AA unit can double up as an anti-tank unit. And then the howitzer, I suppose we will want to keep it over here as well. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's send you over there. Good, so that does obviously leave us with a couple of points here. We can't buy any more aircraft, but we can certainly buy a little bit more infantry and land units. But I am thinking that's maybe not the most important thing. I am thinking that maybe we want to upgrade here and buy a couple of these universal carriers. And the reason for that is that these guys will be required to move up here quickly, I think, to get into position to stop them advancing here. Grab a couple of these towns at least early on, and that might be extremely helpful. We should reinforce you here as well. Right, and I suppose the same is really true over here. I think, oh, you have discounted. Ah, you can be upgraded to British Infantry 1942, and you'd be much better at attacking tanks, slightly better at attacking infantry, and slightly better at defending against either. Yeah, I still think that's probably a good upgrade. British engineers. Your howitzer I'm not too happy about, but nothing we can do there for now. Didn't I see a cheap upgrade here as well? Yeah, you. The Hurricane 2. You could upgrade into this one, but you'd be a ground attack unit, whereas you are a dogfighter. Question is, do we want to upgrade into anything else? We would have the Kitty Hawk over here. I think the Kitty Hawk P40 is also new. We would have the Spitfire or the Typhoon. Typhoon is also ground attack craft. How about you? Can you upgrade? So you are currently considered an interceptor, and ground attack. And the Typhoon, so let's pick you again, because it did not remember that selection. So if we were to upgrade you, you'd be slightly worse at attacking heavy aircraft, but much better at attacking light aircraft. You'd be much better defending against light aircraft, and you'd have better maneuverability. You would also be slightly better at attacking ground units, although slightly worse at defending against them. Yeah, I think we want to upgrade you probably, so that we have a decent amount of aircraft over here, so that they are a little bit more in sync. And that I think is a good idea. Yeah, and this guy here, because he's super experienced, and he has the general here, which does give you a little bit more defense against enemy units as well. So I'm thinking whether there's any unit that does give us a significant boost in terms of AA capabilities, but there doesn't seem to be. I mean, 11? 11, 10? Seems pretty good to me. Yeah, none of these is really better. I mean, you're slightly better defending, slightly better range. But no, you're very good already. Good. No, I appreciate that then. That's all good, I think. Right, so let's get back to the infantry question. We've got these engineers here. We've got these... Wait a minute, two engineering units? The heavy infantry, you've got a universal carrier. Shall we get you universal carrier as well? So let's upgrade that. And that is costing us a command point here. So we'll need to be a little bit mindful with that. We've got the British infantry 1942. And we've got the Gurkhas. The Gurkhas are trying to get over here, I think. So what we might want to do is we might want to purchase special air service or special boat service, because these guys are new. And I very much like having them. So, yeah, I think that'd be great. So let's compare these two. You are pretty much identical in terms of stats. So probably only your traits are different. And you can see these are extremely light units. So supply immune, that's nice. Guerrilla, no disruptions. You're not capturing anything either. But quick retreat, so you only suffer minor damage and you'd already retreat, so you've basically no staying power. And we can either do you because you're Marines, you can demolition, you're also supply immune, you're swimmer, and you're amphibious. Yes, there are a couple of rivers, but on this map at least I don't necessarily see them as a major obstacle. I am thinking that these guys will probably be thrown away out of this, but is that really that drastic? Or do we just want to do special air service? You know what, I always had a heart for the special boat service. I mean, the SAS gets all the credit, but you know what, let's purchase these guys. Purchase them and they will be going over here, so I'm thinking that these guys can probably flank into here, into this jungle, and then the Gurkhas will be able to come over here and support the units there a little bit more directly. Right, that leaves no normal infantry down here. Let's buy another normal British infantry unit, or let's compare that actually to the heavy infantry. Heavy infantry just doesn't seem to be that much better. It's slightly better defending, but not so much at attacking. And it's more expensive, and it doesn't use anything else. So do we want to buy a universal carrier with that though? It would basically double its price, so maybe that's not worthwhile. How about buying Gurkhas instead? Slightly worse at attacking tanks, slightly better at attacking infantry. Would cost us the same command power, but you are just definitively better. Guerrilla, no efficiency loss, conceivable. Light threat. You've got low efficiency loss and you've got basically no efficiency loss. But I just love Gurkhas. Yeah, let's buy Gurkhas. I like it. So since there's no normal infantry down here, I am simply going to place these guys here and they're just going to walk up. Then I think that's going to be alright. So we've got 2 units that are fast, 2 units that are slow. You already have a truck, so that's okay. You guys are alright-ish over here. Maybe we do want to get a heavy infantry in here as well. Very least to block this. You know what? We will also upgrade you here with a universal carrier. That will allow us to come in here a little bit more fastly and support this here. And then these Gurkhas are gonna come just behind you. Yeah, I think that's alright. Can I actually place you here? Yeah. That's alright then. Right. Good, so that does leave us with a little bit of power here and some money. I would like to upgrade the artillery here because it really hasn't been doing all that well for us, and I think that's mostly due to the range. We could pick something with a slightly better range and slightly more oomph. So you'd have a range of 6, you'd have a range of 5. You'd be able to dig out fortifications much better though. So you do more damage. You don't reach as far, but you're the heavy artillery piece. You're also a lot more expensive. Let's upgrade to this here for now. It's going to be expensive enough. But maybe... Okay, you have the... Okay, you have that. You have that. You don't. Let's set you up here on the road. Set you up here as well. Maybe we might already be able to reach something. I'm not sure, but maybe. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Right, and you're okay where you are. So that does leave us with a couple of points still. So let's... Do we want to buy another tank maybe? I'm feeling that for this theater we might already be a little bit heavy. We could also think about... We could also very much think about doing using a recon unit. You'd be much better at basically the same price. Let's actually buy a recon unit. I think recon is important and we don't really have anything yet. Yeah. Yeah, now you're very far behind though, which is not necessarily the best idea for a recon unit. So let's bring you up a little bit into the front. And you'll just have to walk. That's okay. Fine. 5 more points. Would be enough for a tank. Or some heavy infantry with a universal carrier. Yeah, let's buy that. We are now very low on points, but I'm hoping that we will be getting some during deployment. Do we want to play? Where do we want to place you then? Also mindful about this situation up there. I think we have a relatively strong force over here, so I'm gonna put it over here. Maybe we'll have to rebalance that after a while. Okay, yeah, let's move you up there, you there, and that's fine. Good. Well, that took a while. Okay, end of deployment phase. Okay, very lovely. That is not there. Some fighting over there. Ooh. Well, that's bold. Japanese attacking over there, taking a bit of damage, but yeah. These guys are way too exposed. On the other hand, it's good that they are attacking into the river there. Couple of engineers there with the flamethrower. But attacking a very... Oh yeah, these guys are way too exposed. Okay, lots of units there. More artillery. Lots and lots of artillery. Japanese, yeah. And that is historical. They did have a lot of artillery pieces during the Battle of... you know what? Let's turn that down a little bit more. Right. Okay, and of course they are pushing up here. This force here is way too weak. It's very clear that they would be going for this. Yeah, and same over here. This is just a single AA piece, and they've absolutely... Oh dear. Yeah, and you're pushing that to a place where where it's just gonna be lost. Too bad. More tanks. Oh, and there is a Japanese bomber, I want to say. Another one over there. Oh, you're flying away? That means another one is coming in? Yeah, this is a very large one. Third one? No, but a fight over here. Okay, all of these fighters... Okay, I was wise to take at least to use some of our guys back. To use them in the in this position over here. Right, you're very exposed over there. Right, things over here are looking a little... Well, over here they are very much falling apart. It's nice to see that they destroyed that bridge over here. You are in trouble. And they have basically destroyed everything up here. Interestingly enough, they are sending forces this way already. And I suppose what we're going to do is we are going to start here by attacking, of course, this guy here with the artillery piece. Beautiful new artillery piece, doing very good job over there. You guys should be lower on... Oh, okay, you can destroy units. Well, you could bring you around over here. Ideally, of course, we would like to do some damage against them on this flank. So this is a zone of control move, I'm thinking. That's why that is... How about you? Okay, you can come up here. And I think that's what we're going to do. Could also bring you up here. That might not be the worst idea. Could also bring you up here with your shiny new toy. These engineers can come over here, but I'm thinking that potentially they might be able to move further up, even if that's required. Right. Slightly difficult decision over here. So... maybe you can... Yeah, you should be able to advance over here if these guys were cleared out. So let's start by moving out the scout unit. Attack over here. Not taking damage, but we are throwing them back, so that's nice to see. And you cannot make it over there, so I did blunder a little bit. I did waste an attack, basically. You would need to come over here in a car, though, so that's not ideal. You could reach over here. That is nice to see. Okay, let's bring the tank around behind these guys. And then you can come up over here. And we might be able to do some damage this way. -3, that's very good. But we are losing one unit. Okay, that's not great. And you're attacking over there. And we will be moving into this position. Okay, good. Right, so that does leave the Gurkhas open to move up to this airfield, which we need to protect. Good. We do have these anti-tank units that are pretty much worthless against these guys, but they're also anti-air. We've got these engineers, and I'm thinking that we probably want to push you up over here by a significant margin. And then you guys are relatively unexciting. And let's bring you over here as well. Right, okay, so you guys should all be done. Let's turn our attention to the Air Force. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be that much that you can reach. Let's send you forward then. We are seeing a little bit over there, but not too much actually. The other Spitfire can, I suppose, move up over here as well. Interestingly, we are not seeing that much over there. That does leave the Typhoons. Which I suppose we could move up here. I am thinking that there must be a unit over here. But we might be terribly exposed. And we will likely come under attack by 2 aircraft. Could also come up here and just do a little bit of damage. Well, I suppose you need to come home anyway, right? This here is an airfield, right? No, it's open terrain. There's an airfield down here, though. Or over here. Let's land over here. Right, you are okay. So the Typhoon then. You'd not be doing any damage. We might be gaining some XP. Over here you might be doing some damage, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's get over here. Spawn these guys. Yeah, they did actually lose a single piece over there. So, the special boat service. We could push you up. British infantry? Yeah, let's push you up over this way because I'm thinking there is something to be concerned about over there. You guys seem to be holding out relatively fine, so let's bring you up here as well. So we've got the Gurkhas. Could send you up here to deal with this. I'm slightly concerned that these guys might be coming down here and they might be interrupting us by attacking there. We should also keep in mind that we've got this here. There are a couple of entry and exit points here, which I'm hoping which will mean that we are getting some reinforcements. Although I think historically the British did provide very little in terms of support once it was clear that the Malayan Peninsula was being attacked. And after, of course, that had demonstrated that you'd be really exposed to enemy air attacks. Right, so over here, we've got a couple of fighters still. Ah, you could attack over here. Look at that. You could also come up here. We've got what? We've got KF-48 and a large airframe there. So you'd probably want to attack the... What are you, Blenheim? Oh, you're a bomber. Alright. And we've got a Buffalo. I hate Buffaloes. Buffaloes were really, really bad aircraft. I should have checked what that is. I thought this would be a heavy fighter. Well, we could attack over here and we'd be able to do some decent damage against these fighters. And I'm thinking that potentially it might be extremely important to shoot down their fighters first so that we are gaining some measure of air superiority. I'm just afraid that putting us here will open us necessarily to counterattack. Yeah, and watch the Buffalo not have the range to deal any damage over there. Okay, let's bring you up here. Oh, interesting to see. There are a lot of units over there. Let's attack that bomber. Receive some damage in return. And then over here you can attack there. Nice. -4, -1, that's okay. Yeah, so we might be fine over there. Right, up over here. I'm thinking that it might make a lot of sense to engineers or infantry. I think you'd actually be fine down here. Yeah, it looks like you're fine. So let's go around into their faces. Attack over here. Not doing any damage to us, but we're doing a lot of damage against them. -4, that's lovely. I think you're fine where you are. I don't necessarily want you to move up. So, no. You, on the other hand, can move up over here and take these guys out. And I am actually going to move you into this field. We didn't take them out. And you... Ooh, that's much worse than I would have expected. Right, over here. We are not expected to do a lot of damage. We'd be able to do some damage against some of these units in the open field. But I'm more mindful about this guy down here. A, we are going to get a lot better view on what's going on over here. B, we are going to reduce him and maybe open him up to counterattack a little bit more. Nice. Very good result there. Good. I like that. I dig it. Good. What else have we got? Okay, these two units. We've got an AA unit over here, which we could move up there. Don't think it's going to do anything for us. We've got these Australians. I think you are actually alright. You are in a decent position over here. And we've got a universal carrier, and I don't think I can pick up a unit. Can I? Ah, okay, no, that just... Well, it was decent to move out of here anyway. I'm not sure whether you'll survive. Might give you a couple of points over here. Yeah, you'd be in a bad position anyway. Let's move you down here. I think we're going to pretty much give up on you though. And what are you going to do? You're a weird unit. I mean, you're basically a transport, I get that, but what are you doing here? Got a quick firing gun, we got another AA gun. Oh, we got an artillery piece over here. We can't shoot at anything though. Might want to move you up a little bit to the left over here so that you're also reaching this avenue. Yeah. Australian infantry over here. Can you change? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, let's swap you guys. So we've got the supporting gun here in the rear. Yeah, I like that. That setup is okay to me. Right, and then this AA gun. Could have fired on you first. Can I move down there though? Okay, let's move down here and shoot at this aircraft. Good. Yeah, so he'll probably withdraw. You up here. You're not dug in or anything, but I do think it may make sense to keep you over here just to prevent them from coming our way a little bit too quickly. You guys are all fine. Well. You're toast, my friend, anyway. We're not going to help you. Right. And you... Yeah, you could attack over here. These guys are a little bit exposed. Also come up over here into this field. Might not be the worst. I think it would give you some defensive bonuses. Yeah, let's move you up here. Prevent these guys from attacking us all too quickly. You can't move out. Pity, otherwise I might have even done a very localized counterattack. Okay, that does lead to the question what to do with the special boat service here though. Wait a minute, I thought you'd be immune against organization laws. Apparently you aren't. Well, that's a bummer. If I move you down here and these guys are not going to come that way, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Okay, let's move the Gurkhas up here. You can advance through here. And the boat service is going to just hike up the road. Yeah, that does look very lovely to me. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what are you actually, by the way? You are... what? A pilot? Oh, of course. Well, I suppose you could be fitted to you. Can I not just fit you onto localized forces? If not, okay, I must fit you to one of these units. Well, that's alright. I mean, this Typhoon is already used to some extent to attack enemy ground units. So, yeah, let's use you for that. Should have used you before, of course, but I think that's alright. You did look like an admiral, though, and we don't have any ships, so I thought that'd be a little bit wasted. So, anyway, good place to put in a cut. We are reinforcing this position here with, what's that? British infantry and British heavy infantry, so I think that's going to be alright. Over here I'm slightly concerned whether we might have to do a little bit more, although we're so out of points that I don't think that's viable. Would be lovely to conquer that, but I am seeing a lot of units streaming down there, so potentially not. On the other hand, we are very good on supply, and we have already secured this position over here. Oh, we've got a support unit here that I didn't even see. Let's move you into the forest over here. Or just behind this guy at least, so that he is supporting that. and that I think is okay. And then you can come up here, and we're going to try to stick in these forest lines and advance up that way. Would also be nice to have the Gurkhas on this flank because there's some difficult terrain there, but it's alright. These guys were certainly disrupting our advance, but I think we have at least beaten them back a little bit. So that is nice to see. And you are struggling to keep up, but we'll have to make do with that. Good. So, hoping to see you guys around next time. And yeah, do leave a like and all of that if you want, and I hope to see you around. Bye bye.